guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley and I am the crochet designer slash business strategist here behind A Crafty Concept. On this channel, I provide free crochet patterns and crochet business tips to help crocheters take their hobby and turn it into a jobby. In this video specifically, I have a free crochet pattern for you, and it is a patriotic free crochet pattern for all of my fellow Americans here watching. Today's free crochet pattern is a USA themed backpack. If you have been following me for any sort of time, you have probably seen multiple free crochet backpack patterns on my blog, like the dino backpack, bunny backpack, shark backpack, witch backpack, and candy corn backpack. I love taking an original crochet pattern of mine and turning into multiple different crochet patterns. So keeping up with the theme, we are now doing a USA themed backpack. This backpack is perfect for summer, would be great for carrying necessities or small things to the pool, to an overnight stay at grandma's, to 4th of July cookouts or barbecues, all kinds of fun summer activities. This backpack is perfect. Remember, when marketing your USA themed backpacks, you speak to your ideal customer and tell her how it will raise her quality of life specifically. So if she has small kids, tell her how she can carry her baby necessities like a pack of wipes, an extra couple of diapers, and a change of clothes really quickly. If she's got older kids, tell her how they can carry their own things in there like an iPad or a snack. And if she's just a college student who spends all summer long going to music festivals, let her know that she can carry all the necessities she needs for her music festival activities with this fun patriotic backpack. Be sure to watch this video till the very end because I have a free resource I'm going to share with you to help you get more sales selling your USA themed backpacks. Now let's hop on over to my table and see what you need to make your own crocheted USA themed backpack. Okay, here is what you need to make your own American flag backpack. Red, white, and blue yarn. These are all Hobby Lobby's. I love this yarn. You're going to need a 4.5 millimeter crochet hook. This one is Clover & More brand. This is my favorite hook brand to work with. Highly recommend this hook. I will link all the descriptions for you down below. You will also need a pair of scissors. These are my fancy new black scissors that I just got from Temu. Thought they were pretty neat looking. You may also need the graph. You can get this in the PDF and on the blog post that goes with this pattern. You will need a tapestry needle for sewing in your ends. I will be using puff paint to make the stars on the blue part of my backpack. Let's start with our blue yarn. We're going to start by making a slip knot and chaining 41. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 40 and 41, perfect. Now we're going to single crochet 40 back down our chain. If my nails look weird, it's because I was digging holes outside with my daughter this morning, so I apologize. Okay, we're going to single crochet back down. We're going to skip the chain closest to our hook. Does not count as a stitch, and we're going to go into the second chain. I like to go into the back bump. I just like the way that looks. I think it gives me a clean look. You're welcome to go into the actual V part of the stitch if you'd like. I will be going into the back bump and placing a single crochet there. I yarn under instead of the traditional yarn over. That gives my stitches a slightly twisted effect and makes them just a smidgy tighter, making my gauge a smidgy smaller. It is very minor. It is not super drastic. You can crochet it however you want. This is how I taught myself. This is just easier for me. I may say yarn over just because that's like the lingo for crochet designers, but I might be yarning under. That's just personal preference. You yarn however you would like to yarn. But we're going to single crochet all the way back down our chain until we have a total of 40 single crochets. $39 and last one for $40. Okay, now we are going to chain 1 and turn our work. Perfect. For rows 2 through 9, we're going to single crochet 1 time in each stitch all the way down, chain 1 and turn our work. So we're going to do rows 2 through 9, so it's 8 more rows. We will have 9 total rows of blue right here. And we are starting by making the tunnel at the top of our backpack where our straps are going to go. That when you pull them, it clinches up, so it's a drawstring backpack. We're making the little strap tunnel right now. So go ahead and do rows 2 through 9, and then we will come back. Okay, 2 more single crochets. That completes row 9. Now we can tie off. This is our first strap tunnel rectangle. We have to make 2 of these. So you can go ahead and cut your blue yarn and tie off like so. Now set this aside, repeat all of those steps and make a second rectangle, but this time do not cut your yarn. We're going to keep our yarn attached. So rewatch the video if you need to and do the same exact steps, rows 1 through 9, to make another blue triangle. Okay, almost finished with my second blue rectangle. Now I can chain 1 and we can look at it. So here's what we've got, and we're not cutting this one, we're keeping this one attached, and we're going to turn these little rectangles into tubes. So to do that, we are going to take, starting with the one that's still attached to our yarn, we're going to take the first row that we did and the last row that we did and make like a little hot dog bun. That's what we're going to do. So I'm going to put my hook back in my working yarn, and then I'm going to turn my work around. I'm going to actually take out that chain 1 that I did. So no chain 1 for there. And make this big so we don't lose it. Okay. Now turn my work. Now we're going to be single crocheting through the first row and the last row all the way down for 40 single crochets. But we're going to start here in the first row. We're going to grab our working yarn. Pull it through. Now we're going to chain 1. Boom. Okay, so now we're going to single crochet down for 40 stitches, making sure to go through both the first row and the last row of our rectangle. So going into the one where we just joined, and then into the same one on the other side, its little partner. Pair them up. And that's 1. We're going to do that all the way down for a total of 40 stitches. 37, 38, 39, and 40. Okay, pull up a long loop here so you don't lose it. Got our first little tube created. It goes all the way through. Now we're going to grab our first tube that we crocheted, and we are going to close them up. So it will be like this. Making a little hot dog. And then we're just going to continue to single crochet 40 more stitches, this time connecting these 2 rows together. So right in that first stitch, and then its partner, and that's where we're going to place our single crochet. It's going to be 40 more single crochets, and it's going to give us a total of 80 this time for this entire row, for row 10. Once I get everything nice and clean over here, I can place my single crochet. Be sure to keep your tension. Make sure everything's nice and taut so it's not loosey-goosey. Okay. That's 1, 2. I'm going to go all the way down until I get to 40, even though technically it's 80. Okay, I'm almost to the very end. My last single crochet. There we go. Okay, now we are going to join our 2 tunnels together. So make sure your tunnels are facing the same way. This is what the same way looks like. If they were not the same way, I mean, it would be like conky wampus, right? So make sure all is well here. Okay, And now we're going to close it like a circle. So it's a big old circle, and this is going to be row 10. So we're going to join into the top of our first single crochet all the way over here. Okay, making sure it's not getting twisted. It looks like it's getting twisted, but it's not. And that's where we're going to join. So grab your yarn, pull through. Okay, chain 1. Now we're going to start the body of our backpack. So that is the strap tunnel, and now we're going to start the body. So if you're looking at the graph, this represents the strap tunnel. This row right under that first line represents row 10. So then this is 11 and so forth. Something we're going to be doing after every row is turning our work. This is going to help us have a nice straight seam down the side, and this is going to be the side of the backpack. So we just joined into the top, making sure nothing's twisted. And now we're going to turn our work to get ready to do row 11. So rows 11 through 19, we're just going to single crochet 1 time in each stitch all the way around. And then join into the top of your first single crochet, chain 1, and turn your work. Make sure you are turning your work after each round. It's going to be 80 single crochets, so it's going to take you a little bit, depending upon how fast you are. Now's a great time to binge watch your favorite TV show, maybe listen to an audiobook, or if you're feeling extra productive, you can listen to some Ask Ashley replays. Ask Ashley is a live that I do every week here on YouTube where I answer your business questions. People just pop into the comments, ask me what they've got going on or what's on their mind, something that they would like to hear my 2 cents about, and then I answer them. So if you are starting a crochet business, have a crochet business, thinking about starting a crochet business, Ask Ashley might be a great resource for you to just start listening while you crochet. That's my favorite thing to do while I crochet. But I am going to show you how to finish this row once we get to the end. Just one more time, just so everything is crystal clear. But we do want to do rows 11 through 19 with our blue, and then we're going to switch to white. Okay, and the last single crochet here, join into the top of the first single crochet, chain 1, and turn our work. Okay, be very certain that you're not getting all twisted up. I'm going to go ahead and do all the way up through row 18, and then I will come back here on camera and we will switch to our white yarn. So remember to chain after each row, and remember to not let your thing get all twisted up. Okay, I just finished row 18. Okay, the last single crochet in row 18. Now we're going to join into the top of our first single crochet. But we're going to grab our white yarn instead of our blue and pull through with our white. Chain 1 and turn our work. Now we are going to get ready for row 19. Using our white yarn this time, we're going to single crochet around for a total of 80 stitches. And I will be yarning over this time, just because every time I change colors, I think yarning over gives it a prettier look. So I'll be doing that very intentionally for this row, which is row 19. But then the rest of them, I'm just going to go back to yarning under because I'm faster. But I want to show you how it looks. Nice and clean. Rows 19, 20, 21, and 22 will be white. So we've got 4 rows of white. We're still going to chain 1 and turn our work after each row. You can go ahead and cut your blue yarn now and set that to the side. We're finished with our blue, and I will show you that when I changed colors right here, all of my mess is on this side of my work. This is going to be the correct side because I want the row where I changed colors to be the right side, and I want this to be the wrong side. So these are actually going to have to go on the inside. When I go to sew in my tails, I'll hide them on the other side because this is the correct side of our bag. It will be the side that faces out, and people will see it. Okay, last stitch. I'm just going to move this tail. I'm going to move this to the inside, and I'll do that blue one later. I'm going to join into the top of my first single crochet, chain 1, and turn our work. Now we have 3 more rows of white, just like that one, 3 more, for a total of 4, and then we are going to switch to our red yarn. So I'm going to do my 3 more rows of white, and then I will come back and we will switch to red. Okay, my last single crochet here. But I'm going to, yes, finish it out with the white. Now I'm going to insert to join into the top of our first single crochet, but I'm going to grab my red yarn this time. It's unfortunate that all the joining is on the wrong side, but we can put in all of our tails and it won't look bad at all. Okay, we're not going to clip our white though. Hopefully we can, let me see. Let's pull your white to the inside, okay? Insert your hook into the top of the first stitch, grab your red, let's see if we can keep it on the inside, and join with the red, chain 1, turn your work. We're going to keep our white attached because the next time we have to do a row of white, we can just pull it up and go from there so we don't have a billion tails to sew in. So now I'm going to do 4 rows of 80 with my red, and this first row I am going to yarn over just so it's nice and clean. Join into the top of our first single crochet, chain 1, and turn after each row. I will come back one more time to show you how to pull this white yarn up to use it so we don't have to cut it and keep sewing in, and then we'll just do the rest off camera because it's all the same things just over and over again until you get your entire bag finished. And then we'll come back on camera, join the bottom together, and potentially add the straps together. We may not have time for the straps, but that's okay because I have multiple other backpacks available already on YouTube, each with a strap tutorial. So we have the shark backpack, the candy corn backpack, the witch hat backpack, the bunny backpack, and the OG, which is the dino backpack. That was the first backpack that I released. The dino backpack was made a little differently because that was the first one that I made, and once I got the hang of it, I was able to make it a little bit easier. The dino backpack is actually made in a front panel and a back panel, and then you join them together. This is much faster going this way. So if we don't get to the straps, we can definitely link to all of those videos down below, and any of them will have a strap option for you. We are almost done with this row. I'm going to do my 4 red rows, and then I will come back and show you how to pull your working white yarn to keep going. Okay, coming up to the end of my last red row. And I just want to show you how I'm going to pull the yarn. I'm going to pull my red tail into the wrong side of my work. And then I'm going to pull this white one. Make sure it's nice and taut, but not too tight. I'm going to go ahead and put it back out to the front side of my work. Insert my yarn into the top of my first single crochet, but this time we are going to grab our white yarn and pull it through. Chain 1, you can tighten this one here too, and turn our work. So now I'm just going to do, we did 8 rows, 4 white and 4 red. We're going to do that 3 more times. So white, red 1, white, red 2, white, red 3. We're going to have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 whites and 4 reds total. And we're going to end with red. And then we're going to seam up the bottom. So I'm going to do all of these rows off camera. So I'm starting here at this white one, and I'm going to go all the way down until I get down here. So white, red 1, white, red 2, white, red 3. And then we'll come back here on camera and finish her up. Okay, I just finished my last set of 4 rows of red. Okay, let's measure and see what we got so far. So my stripes are a little bit wider than my blue up here because the yarn that I used is kind of old and I probably should have got a new skein. But it's about 10 inches on the stripes and then about 9 3/4 on the length. I think that my tension has changed drastically is why it is shaped like this. Also my weird yarn. So if I were to do this again, I would add 2 more rows of blue and then 4 more rows of white. That's what I would do, personal preference. This is a very good size for a kid's backpack, which is what it was designed for originally, but you can add to it if you want it to be a little bit longer and then adjust the colors on the grid wherever you would like. But that's what I would do if I was going to redo it, but we're not going to redo it. We're going to continue using what we have and keep it going. So we're going to flip our backpack inside out. Still using the same hook. I'm going to insert my hook back into my working yarn, and we need to flatten our backpack so the tunnels are right on the 2 edges. So you're not working like in the middle of your backpack. It is completely flat with the tunnel openings on the edges. Now we are going to join the 2 rows together. We're going to close them up because we don't want stuff falling out of our backpack. And I like to use the join as you go method. If you have made my Daisy Granny Square blanket, you have seen this method before, and I've probably used it in the other backpack patterns as well. This looks so frumpy, and I think it's mostly because this blue was an old yarn that had been ripped out of a previous project, and I think that has affected the tightness of it. Okay, we are going to insert our work into the next stitch right by our chain 1. So there's our chain 1. We're going to go right into the next stitch and we're going to place a single crochet there. Then we're going to remove our hook from our working yarn, insert in the same space. So like if it's completely flat, we need to insert into this space that it needs to be partnered with. And then we got to hope that our things line up all the way down. So you can go ahead and pair up all of these stitches together. So it's 80 stitches total, 80. So there should be 40 pairs, right? So you can go ahead and look and make sure, like, do you need to join in this hole or do you need to join in this hole for all of the pairs to line up? I'm just going to do that off camera because it's a little difficult to do stretched out on my table. But I'm going to make sure I can just kind of eyeball it and pair these up, and then I'll tell you which hole that I went through, but you might need to double check it for yours based on where you joined and chained and stuff. Okay, I finally got mine paired up. I just added stitch markers for every 10 stitches so they would stay together like that. And now I'm going to show you. So I took my first single crochet out just because it was giving me fits. So my first single crochet is going to go right here, right there, and then I'm going to pull it into this space where I joined. So we're going to put my first single crochet right here. Then I'm going to pull my hook out and go into the space where I joined, and then grab my working yarn and pull it through, and that's 1. We're going to do this for 40 stitches, 40. So single crochet in this next stitch back here, remove my yarn, go into the next stitch here, grab it, pull it through, that's 2. Single crochet, pull it out into the stitch, that's 3. And let's go and see if we line up with my first stitch marker here. 4, 5, you don't really need to count because once you get them all, you've got them all. 6, here I am still counting. Okay, perfect. So these are lining up the way it should be. So everything is working out beautifully. Single crochet into this stitch and then pull it into this guy. If you do not like this method, you can just single crochet all the way down if you would rather. I just like this method because I like the way the yarn lays when it's done this way. But if you want to just single crochet all the way down, making sure to line up the front and back pieces of your backpack for 40 single crochets, that will be absolutely fine. So I'm going to finish going through the front and back pieces just like this all the way down until I have done it a total of 40 times. And then we will come back and tie off together. Okay, I just sewed in all of my tails. Now we can flip our backpack right side out. And let's talk straps. Man, this looks so frumpy. My attention is getting very weird. I hope yours is longer looking. Feel free to add another row of white if nothing else. And also the fact that I used old blue is old blue. Sounds like a hunting dog. That's just old blue. Oh goodness. But we're gonna go with it. I've showed you how not to do this, so that's still informative. So we're gonna talk straps. Now you can use a I-cord maker, which I will show you in a second. You can crochet your own I-cord, which I will pop up a video here on screen so you can see it. I do have a video showing you how to crochet your own I-cord. That one takes some practice, but you can do it and it does work really well. So you could use a fun, funky yarn situation. So this is Bungee from Hobbii Yarns, Hobbii. I have a whole tutorial on this yarn. I love this yarn. It's what I use to make my nesting baskets with. It's my go-to nesting basket yarn. You can use this to make your straps if you wanted to. You could use something like this, which is from Hobby Lobby, and it's like a velvety woven or knitted yarn. This is what I used for the witch backpack straps, and it worked just fine. You could also use cotton rope like this or like this. This is macrame rope from Hobby Lobby, so it's made out of cotton cord. Very soft, very nice. This one is the same thing, it's just thicker, so you've got different millimeters going on. Both of these should be in the macrame section at Hobby Lobby, but I will also put links down below for Amazon options as well. Warning to the rope. If you do decide to use the rope, it can get funky when you wash this. It gets like all twisted and knotted up and you have to kind of fool with it. So word to the wise, if you want to use the rope, maybe hand wash only would be a good idea so the rope doesn't get all conky wampus. For this bag, I think I want to make my own strap using my tulip I-cord maker. So I'm going to go grab my tulip I-cord maker. I will give a disclaimer, this thing is addicting once you start playing with it. It is very fun to play with. So this is what I will be using to make my straps. I'm going to give you a very quick tutorial. If you would like a more in-depth tutorial, please let me know in the comments down below. I have lost my old blue yarn. I will be using blue yarn for my straps. I just think it would look really pretty against the rest of the bag. So I'm trying to find the end here. There we go. And we're going to do a quick little tutorial, nothing super in-depth. So if you want a more in-depth one, let me know. So we're going to start by taking our yarn up through this sidebar here and then down, down through the middle hole, all the way down in there. And then it's going to come out the bottom and we are going to put our little weight on. This comes together off from Amazon and I will link it down below for you. So we're going to push in that button, drop our yarn in there and then let go of the button and it's going to grab a hold of the yarn. So it's hanging onto it pretty tightly. Now to start your cord, we're going to let the first one grab our yarn. Can you see how it's grabbing it? It's going to grab the yarn right here. And then this next one's coming, and we're not going to let it grab. We're going to pull it behind. We're going to skip that guy. Okay? And then the third one is going to grab it. And then the fourth one is going to skip it. Just like that. Now, you need to make sure you can have this dangling down here. It's not dangling, it's sitting on my table, so I might try to move it around here in a minute. There we go. Now we're going to just grab for all of them. All of them should be grabbing now. And if you just do it nice and slow, you make sure it drops all the way down past the little lever. Sometimes it gets weird at the beginning. And it's going to start grabbing every single time, each of these little teeth or needles or hooks are going to grab the yarn and pull it down in there. And we're just going to start cranking. And I like to come over here. I like to come to the end of my table so my weight can dangle down towards the floor. And then this is going to be pulled nicely, nice and taut. So then you keep your hand over here on this yarn, and then you just start cranking and letting the weight pull it down. And that's all you do. And we're going to crank it until we think it's long enough. And I will put a measurement on the screen for you from some of the previous backpacks. That is going to be my goal for the length of this one. There's no way to count, so I'll just make a big one and then make another big one and make one of them smaller as necessary so they are the same size approximately. So I'm going to go ahead and make 2 big long chains. I will come back and show you how to cast off. It's really simple. Sorry, it's shaking. It's shaking my whole everything. Maybe if I come off the table. I don't know if that's helping. But you can see it's really simple. And this thing is really fun. And you can use these for all kinds of different stuff inside of your crochet business. I've made lanyards. I've made earrings. You could make a necklace style lanyard to hold like a name tag or something. They're very fun. They look really cool with self-striping yarn. Show you what we got so far. This is what it's looking like. Very, very fun. Very addictive. And you might have to scoot up your weight every now and then. If it just gets too long, you just push that in, pull, and then sometimes you might have to actually put your cord down in the weight. But I'm going to make 2 big long blue eye cords with this, and I will come back and show you how to cast off and resize and all the things. Okay, so I have my first cord finished, and you want it to be about 60 inches, 60 inches long. To tie off, you're going to just cut your tail. We're going to just crank it out and let it drop through. So we're going to let it just start skipping. Skip, 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 skip. Just letting them fall right on out. There you go. So all of them are now no longer attached. You just kind of crank it for a little bit, don't let it grab, and then it'll be finished. Then you can pull it right on through. Now you have some loops, 4 loops, and you can leave it like this for now, so you can make your second one, and then you can pull this, and it will make your strap shorter if it's too long. I guess we should measure it first before we start tying it off. So I'm just going to kind of run my fingers along it so it can get untwisted, because it kind of gets really twisted up when you're cranking. And I'm going to measure it when it's folded over like this for the sake of space. And it should be about 30 inches. I know some of it's off camera. We just don't have enough space. But I will show you what I got. So I'm just kind of stretching it along my table. Going to take my little tape measure and go right on the ends of one side, run it all the way down to the other side, and we're trying to get about 30. So it's about 32. So we can pull some of it out so that it is not so long. So to do that, you just pull your tail that you just clipped off, and it will start to unravel. So we're going to go for quite a bit actually, because that's okay. Close enough. That's all I'm doing. Close enough. I'm going to trim this so it's not too long to manage, and then use my tapestry needle, and we're just going to pick up each of these 4 loops. So I'm just going to go under this one and pull through very gently. Do that for all 4 of them, very, very loosely and gently. And then the last one, and then you can pull tight. Ta-da! Now it's secure. And you can knot it if you want to. Just like kind of go back under the stitches a little bit. And then go through your yarn that you just created, the loop. And maybe do that 2 times. And it doesn't matter that's a little weird looking, because it's going to be on the inside of your backpack. So nobody's going to see it. So I'm going to do the exact same thing to my other strap. And then we will come back and add them to our backpack. And then of course, if you want your straps longer or shorter, you just use less length. Okay, now that I have finished both of my backpack straps and they are about the same size, let's assemble them to our backpack. You know what? You might want to do your puff paint first. I'm going to do my straps first, but you might want to do your puff paint first, but you still need to see how to do the straps, so I'm going to show you. You are going to need potentially a bigger crochet hook. A big plastic one without a rubbery handle would be better, but this is all I can find in this moment, so this is what I'm going to use. So we are going to be taking one strap, and it is going to go in this side all the way through, and then back in this side all the way through. So we're making like a lasso, and both tails are going to be on this side. So this one is going to go, it's going to look like this, wrapped around and down the side, and then this one is going to be the complete opposite. It's going to go in this front one and then out this front one and then in this back one and out this back one. So it's going to look like this. So that is what we are going for inside our little backpack tunnels. I know it's kind of hard to tell because they're both blue, but and then if you can kind of imagine it, the two sides that are lassoed around will be what pulls it closed like a drawstring, okay? So let's just do one side at a time. We'll start with this one. We're going to go in this way. So I'm going to grab my crochet hook and run it through the tunnel here and kind of bunch up the tunnel so it sticks out on the other end, but I still have it on this end too. And then we're going to grab our strap and we're going to pull it through. You might drop it, no big deal. Go back in. See if you can't find it. If not, we'll just try again. No big deal. It's a little weird. It takes a couple tries sometimes. So we'll try it again. Okay. Wrap it around and try to keep it wrapped like that. I'm just going to kind of hope for the best, hope for the best. Ah, look. Beautiful. Okay, and now we're going to go in this one and out over here. So I'm going to flip this over and go in right here because that's the side it's coming out of. Scrunch it all the way on. Okay, grab it and pull it through so it's coming out the other side. Glorious. Okay, now we need to do the same thing for the other side, and then we will try to, you know, make sure that they're sticking out the same length. So we are going to go, this one needs to go like this. That's what it's going to look like under the tunnel. Okay, so we are going to go this way. Yes. Okay, and then grab our strap and pull it on through very gently. There we go, perfect. And then it's going to go around the side that doesn't have a loop already. So we're going to go around this way with this one. Make sure it's the right guy. And then we're going to go around. So I'm going to flip this over. And this one is going to go through this tunnel and out on this side. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Okie dokie. Grab our thing. Pull it through. Boop. Only messed up one time. That's not bad. Okay, now we can make sure our tails are the same length. So just tie the two, put the two tippies together and kind of pull on them so you got about the same. They're evenly dispersed. Okay, do the same thing for both sides. Making sure they are even. Okay, now we can pull it shut. See? Very good. But Ashley, how's it going to be a strap? I'm so glad you asked. We are going to take these two ends and put them inside the backpack from the outside to the inside, and on the inside, we're going to knot them. So I like to use a crochet hook and just kind of organize my straps like so. These two are going to go in on this side, and then those other two are going to go in on the back. So we're going to start by grabbing our crochet hook. And remember, it's got this whole thing has to go through, not just the tail. So I'm going to go in, and I'm just going to pooch that out because I feel like that's not pushed out all the way. So make sure your edges are completely pushed out. Okay. And so this right here, can you see this row? That's the row where I'm going to insert. That way we can get it nice and even. So this side is going to go in about right here. It doesn't have to be exactly the same or perfect or nothing like that. We'll make it work. And it needs to go in between actual stitches. So I'm going to actually go in from the inside and pop my hook out right where I want it to come out at. So right here. Okay. I'm going to grab this front strap and pull it through. Actually, you can probably grab the yarn and pull it all the way through, making sure it doesn't grab the red and it's just going between stitches. We want it going between stitches, and then you can kind of just finagle it till it goes all the way through. Perfect. And then this is what it looks like on the inside. Okay, just pulling right on through. I'm going to do that for the other side in the same row, about the same distance from the edge. So about right here. And it's the other front one, this guy. And pull it on through. Ta-da! Okay, now let's flip it over and do the same on the other side, making sure to line up inside the same row. So if we go like this and flatten it out, you can see which row you need to be popping out your hook in. So we're going to go right here. Maybe one more over. Maybe right here. Boop. And grab my yarn and pull it in without messing up and grabbing any red yarn. Fell off my hook, but it's still good. I still got it. There we go. Same for the other side. So make sure to line them up nicely. So you're going in the same row, this row right here. Pop your hook out where you want to grab it from. It's a little tighter for some reason. Okay, grab our last strap and pull it on through. This one's a little tight for some reason. You could probably use a tapestry needle if you needed to. Actually, since that's being so weird, I'm just going to use a tapestry needle. But make sure to go between the stitches just like you would with this giant hook. Don't go actually in a stitch. Go in the space between the stitches. If you go in a stitch, your cord might not fit all the way through. So I just like to make like a circle so I know that I'm going between the stitch and not through it. Okay. Pull it on in. Make sure everything's doing what it's supposed to do on the inside. It is not, see? I kind of went a little bit through a stitch, if you can see that blue right there. So to fix that, I'm just going to go back out of it. Make sure to fully out of it and not going through anymore, Lord have mercy. Okay, now pull what? A tiny little thread. Tiny little thread giving me fits. Okay, ta-da, excellent. Now let's pull it back to where it's inside out again. And we will knot our strings together. So the key to this part is making sure they're knotted around in the same spot, like as close to the same spot as possible. So I'm going to just put my two ends together, okay, and then just make a regular knot. Nothing fancy. Pull those tails out first, and my goal is to get it right up next to the very end, but not, I still want some ends sticking out. Okay, so then we continue to pull it nice and tight. There we go. Tight as you can. There we go. Now we need to replicate this on the other side as close as we can. So line up the two ends and then give yourself some slack so you can start tying. Okay. And then pull it, but before you get too tight, make sure you eyeball about where it needs to be so one strap isn't longer than the other one. See how those are very, very close? That's what we're going for. And you can still kind of maneuver it a little bit before you tie your knot too tight. You can move it around. Okay, let's see. Pretty dang close. I'll take that as a victory. Now we need to sew in these tails, and you can also use this moment to kind of re-secure this knot if you want to. So I'm going to go into the cord. If you hear screaming, my husband and daughter are playing in the background. This is the wonders of working from home. I'm going in through the cord, and then I'm going like in this knot here. Making sure I don't grab my other one, and just pull it all the way through. And then you can continue to like go through this knot if you want to make it extra super duper secure. That it won't be untieable at this point if you do this. It will be very secure. So if for some reason your customers ever need to undo their backpacks, this will not work. They will have to cut it out and make new straps. But once you do a couple passes, you can cut your tail, maybe. And then do that for all 4 of your tails, which I will continue doing off camera later. And let's look at adding our stars. So I'm going to flip it right side out again, just making sure those are nice and pulled, and then flip it right side out and take a look at what we got. A little USA backpack. How cute is that? I love it. This would be perfect for 4th of July cookouts, or anytime like summer things, like going to the pool, going to the beach, having to throw in an extra set of clothes. Maybe your kids do sports and they need to have an extra set of clothes with them. Perfect for all those things. Okay, now we need to make our little stars. Now you can choose to do stars, or you could do like polka dots if you wanted it to be a little bit more simple. You could just leave it blank if you wanted to. My hope is that my puff paint doesn't seep through the holes of my stitches onto my straps. If you wanted to do the stars before you did your straps, I think that would be a smart idea. Grab my puff paint. Again, links to everything are in the description below. And I'm just going to eyeball it and just kind of make it up. So first I need to shake up my puff paint. I'm just going to grab some scrap paper so I can practice squirting it out so I don't get a big old blob on my work, because that does happen. So I'll give a couple test squirts. Now you need to try to think about where you want all of your stars. This is going to be super chaotic. If you wanted to map yours out a little bit more strategic, you can do that. I also think polka dots would be super cute if you just want to go with polka dots. But I'm going to do this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the old school, like, look at that, splurge. So this is what I'm going to go for. I'm just going to go for the old school type. Okay, good to know. Got to lift your... Gosh, it's so bubbly. This is what I'm going for, but hopefully they won't get all cloddy like that. If it does, I'll just have to make it really big. So, fingers crossed it does not get clumpy. If you ruin it, that can be the back side of your backpack. So I'm going to start just down here in the corner, right down here. So let's come a little closer and wish me luck. Here we go. You could start with like dots if you wanted to kind of dot it out. And I'm just going to go for it. Okay? So far, so good. Looks pretty good. Pretty cute. This one looks a little small. Okay. So I'm just going to do that a bunch, very chaotically, and then let them dry for about 24 hours. And then I will come back and show you the finished product in my send out video. I absolutely love how the stars turned out. And if this is your first time using puff paint, this is machine washable. The puff paint will not come off in the washer and dryer. I have a pair of slippers that I put puff paint on, and I've washed them probably 100 times, and it is still hanging on strong. But this turned out so dang cute. If you make a USA themed backpack, I would love to see it. I'd also love to know what kind of straps you decided to use. So if you share any pictures, be sure to tag me over on Instagram at A Crafty Concept so I can see it, share it, comment, all the fun things. This pattern is free on my blog, and that is linked down below, but if ad-free pattern experiences are more your jam, I have a special treat for you. We have bundled all 6 now, so there's 6 total backpack patterns from my website into a bundle situation where you can get all 6 of them for 20% off. So if you love making crocheted backpacks and you want all 6 of these patterns in a ad-free PDF printable format, the link to the bundle is down below. Again, it is 20% off the retail price. So if you are a budget-friendly crocheter, that's a budget-friendly pattern for you. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, we did create a freebie just for this backpack, but you can use them for any of the crafty backpacks. If you buy the bundle, you'll have all of them. But this is absolutely free. If you sign up to my email list through the link below, you will get the crafty backpack product tags. You can cut these out and write down the price of your backpack and attach them to the bottom of your backpack. And the next time you do markets or festivals, your backpacks will have clearly displayed prices, and it will help you get more sales. You can also use them as packaging for your backpacks if you sell them in an online store like on Etsy. This is absolutely free. Just sign up through the link below and it will be in your inbox automatically. If you like this pattern and want to be sure to not miss a single free crochet pattern that goes live here on my channel, be sure to subscribe to the channel and you will get notified whenever a new video goes live. We are posting videos every week right now, so lots of exciting things are happening. We have lots of really fun designs coming out very, very quickly, so subscribe so you are not left out on all of the free crochet fun. That's all I have for today, friends. I hope you have a wonderful day, a great rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video.